Aurora Jumbo. In this tutorial, I'll show you how to use the PHP framework called Aura. Before we begin, quick reminder that every day I host a live stream around 2 p.m. Eastern. You're free to ask any questions, live chat about programming or lifestyle topics. And obviously, you go to jumbo.com, you can click on the link, it'll take you right to the live stream, or you can join and post your request there. And also be sure to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments for more frequent content. I would like to thank everybody who subscribed so far this month. Keep it up. It inspires me to keep on making tutorials just for you. If you have a request, just post it and I'll be able to accommodate you. Most of the tutorials coming up, especially coming up pretty soon, will be all requested by you, the viewer. Okay, so let's get started here with Aura PHP. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create an example where we connect to an existing MariaDB database and pull in the data. In future tutorials, what I'll do is I'll show you how to, there's one more framework coming I found, unless I found another one, but what will happen is I'll show you how to then do a complete CRUD application where we delete, insert, and set up a database, including a database table from scratch. So that's upcoming after this series of the frameworks themselves, introductory frameworks is completed. There's one more. Okay, so what is Aura PHP? It's a collection of independent or decoupled libraries for PHP. So basically, this framework is a clean, no magic approach that emphasizes explicit dependency injection, testability, and simplicity. Okay, so with that said, let's get started. So you're going to need Composer. Before we begin, the Aura GitHub page is available here. So you can see, you can go read, you can go grab and read it. It's open source. Everything I do on this channel so far is all open source. So that's Aura there, and you can get Composer. There's several ways to install Composer. You can use the, for example, I'm using Linux. I can install it from my distro. I'm using Fedora Linux, so it's very up to date. There are other ways. For example, you can install Brew, so that'll be cross-platform compatible. And obviously, if we go back here, you see get Composer. You can go to download. You can browse packages. There's also you can actually install it right from PHP as well. That's another way to get it. I said there's multiple ways to install Composer. So let's get started, as I said before. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to the, because we're using the model view controller architecture. So what I'm going to do is you see here I've opened up the terminal. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually keep the terminal always on top. There's a reason I want to do that. I want to show you a few things. So I want to create my structure. So I'm going to move this up here so you can see my structure. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a folder called app, or Aura app. Inside that folder, I'm going to create a controller folder, a model controller, a view controller, and also I'll also create a what do you call it? I'll create a oh man, a public folder if one doesn't exist. So let's get started here. So what I'm going to do first is let's run the Composer. So first of all, I'll create this folder called Aura app. So let's do that. See, obviously I could also right click and I could have created. So you see we've created this one. So let's go inside it. So I'll cd into it. So Aura app. Then what I'm going to do is, remember, Aura, you can pick and choose what you want. So I need very specific things. So you can simply just grab this code here and copy paste. So let's do that. So when I press enter here, I'll explain what's happening. So it's Composer space require space Aura /SQL space Aura /router space Nehome /PSR7 space, and then HTML interloper /HTML factory puzzle, guzzle, sorry, not puzzle, guzzle. So what it will then do is it's going to then create a obviously it's going to grab all the dependencies that I've requested, but you can see it's very plain. This is literally all it has. It created a composer.json file, a composer lock, that's not relevant right now, and then a vendor. Vendor is where all the dependencies are. But if you notice, how do I get started with my app? Right? So there's a few things we need to do. So first of all, let's create the MVC. Let's create the MVC. What do you call it? Let's create the MVC structure. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a folder called app. I'm just going to call it app, and inside there I'll create a controller. Okay. Oops. Oh, okay. -p to create if it doesn't exist. So you see it create app, and inside the app we see we create a controller. Next, I'm going to create a model folder as well, and we'll create a view. We create a view. So then what I'm going to do is I'm also going to create a public folder. So the public folder is where everything will run. Oh, come on. Make here public. So there's an app folder, that's where all our code will be, and then the public folder, that's where we'll actually run our application. So now what I need to do is let's start with, let me actually create those files, and then we can make them. These are just empty files. So you see, I just touch is a Linux command where to just create those. Files. They're just empty files, completely empty. Remember, because we created the folder, so they don't actually exist. So now with that, let's actually get started. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the composer.json file. So I'll just drag this into the text editor. Let's zoom in a little bit here so you guys can see what's going on. So you can see here it just has the require from the composer. We need to do a little, because I want to auto load this, so I want it to go to the app folder. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this code here and add it after the require in the composer file. So you can just copy this code here and update your composer file. Composer file. So as you can see here, what I'm doing is I'm telling it that okay, it looks like yes. So I'm telling it that oops, too far, I guess. It's weird. What is wrong with this? Okay, there we go. It's weird. I think that one is okay, that one's okay, that one's okay, that should be, oh boy. I don't know if this is, okay. I think this is very case sensitive, so I have to be very careful with what's going on here. What I mean is, I think it has to line up, otherwise it will give an error. Is that okay? Yeah, oh, that's okay. It's this guy that's messed up. Okay, that's why. Man, this okay, I hope that works. I hope that doesn't mess up, but I think that should be here, but that should be fine. Is this actually a tab? What is this? Oh, it is a tab. Okay, so tab is fine. Looks weird, the tab works. Okay, so basically auto load PSR4 and the app, meaning it will grab our app folder. So that we're done with the composer which one is it? Composer JSON. So anytime you modify the composer file, you should always do a composer dump autoload. So I'm going to type that now so that I don't forget in the future. Just say dump autoload. Did I spell it right? Dump autoload, yeah. Oh, you see, yeah, I was right. This is what I was trying to say. It's I think, oh, I forgot to put a comma here. Okay, that's right. Let's save that, run that command again. Oops. Composer, there we go. so it auto-generated the files. That's perfect. So now that's fine. Let's go back to our folder here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to oh, actually I should start the I forgot to start the database. Let me actually let's start the database. System ctl start MariaDB. Put in my super secure password. Okay, so I forgot to start the MariaDB database, but that's it. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to let's take care of the index file. So index file is in our public public folder here. So this file, it's an empty file as well. So let's open that up. So I require the vendor autoload, and I'm going to use the Aura SQL extend PDO. PDO stands for PHP data object, and then I'm going to grab the model. We haven't created the model yet, and the controller. We're going to create those next. So after that, you see we use the extended PDO, and we grab we connect to the we put how we're connecting the database. Obviously it's MariaDB, but this will work also drop-in replacement for MySQL, so meaning you can also use MySQL. The extension is the same to connect to the database for PHP, and obviously for Aura PHP. And then this is the database name, the chassis, the database user, and the database user password. So I always like to have a specific database user for each application I'm doing. I don't like to use root user, because if the root user gets compromised, then the hacker can gain access to everything. So that's why I like to separate them this way. Okay, and then after that we grab the new model and then the controller, and then we pass this to our index. That's basically our index file. So that's how you run Aura PHP. Now remember, it's a micro framework, so you have to do a little bit more work, but some people might prefer that. So that's our index.php file. Next, let's actually go create our controller. So what we do is we get out of the public folder, we go to our app folder, we go to our controller here, and by the way, you can see the folder structure. This is exactly what I've just done today. And obviously, if you need to connect to a database, if you don't have a database, I gave some instructions here on how to do that in the article. So I'm using people because the database, I called it people. I think it's because the first time I installed Laravel, it actually tried to overwrite my guy, because I called it, I think, user stable. So that's why the names are slightly different in these tutorials. Okay, so here's the code. You can simply expand and copy paste and obviously rename it. So that's why I purposely use people here, just to show you that you can tweak it to your heart's content. So let's open up this people controller. Zoom in a little bit here, and the people controller, I'll explain it. It's obviously a PHP file, and the namespace is app backslash controller, and then use app/model/people model, they all camel case, and then the class people controller, protected model, and the function in the construct, we have the people model. We haven't created the model yet, it's going to be next. It says this model equals model, and the function index. Remember, in our index.php file here, you see the controller, it's a people controller, and it's going to run the index function. So that's the index function right here. You see people equals this, people get all people, and include the view as well. Now, this is very, very important. I was like splitting my hairs, because all the documentation that's out there, they were telling us how to include the view, but they were using stuff like from Laravel. So this one, remember, is a micro framework. So unless you have another dependency. It's just easier to use PHP's built-in include folder, and this does work. Okay, so that's your people that's your people controller. Next, we're going to fill up the model, people model here. Again, the source code is very similar here. Obviously, just the names changes in the database. So here is our model. This is the one that actually connects to the database. So you can see here, the namespace is app /model, and then use Aura /SQL /extended PDO, and then the people model class and protected is the DB. In the constructor, we have the extended PDO, and then we just set this DB equals DB, and then the function get all people. Remember that function get all people? It was used in I think the index. Where was it used? I thought it was used somewhere. Yeah, right here. You see, in our controller, it was this model get all people. So that's what it's going to be used. And the get all people, all it does is just goes to the database, fetch all, select all from people. We're getting all the records. Now, if you recall, I only have 3 records, so I can do this. If you have lots of records, if you have 1 million records or more, I wouldn't recommend this. I would recommend you paginate them, meaning that you get maybe 10 at a time or something like that. So that way you don't task your system, the database as well. Okay, so that's it. That's the people model. And lastly, we're going to grab our view, the people view. We could have called it person as well. Let me zoom in here. Okay, so this one is how you can style this to your heart's content. So at the top, the usual doc type. Then we have the HTML tag, the head section, just a title called people list. Then I have some styles. This is not a styling tutorial, but you can style the way you want. And then I have an H1 tag for all people. Then you can see the table. Zoom out a little bit. You can see the table. In the table head section, I put the column names, ID, username, name, age, and verified. And then in the body, I use a PHP for each loop. I prefer something like this, or you can use a templating system like Twig or there's Smarty or others. I prefer to be able to use plain PHP, though it's just easier to maintain in the future as well, and this is a simple drag and drop. So as you can see, this might be familiar if you guys have seen some of these tutorials. Zoom out a little bit more. Even more, you see, there we go. You see just the table cell, so it's going to loop through all of them, creating a new table, new table row, and it's our table cells. And you can see just outputs the ID, username, name, and age, and verified. And then we end the for each loop, and that's it. So now we are able to run this. Let me make sure I save it first. So now we're able to run our code, and so what we do is I don't need to run the consumer dump autoload. I did that before. This one here, for that, anytime you change the composer.json file, make sure you run that. Okay, now to start, we're just going to use PHP's built-in PHP built-in web server. So it's PHP space hyphen capital S. You type localhost or whatever IP address, and then colon whatever port number you want. I'm going to use 8000 space hyphen T, and then public, because public folder is the one, remember, we have the index.php file. So I press enter here. Now you can see it started local server, development server at localhost 8000. So I'm going to open up the Chromium browser. Hopefully it doesn't crash on me. It hasn't crashed so far today, so that's good, but it's been crashing so often. HTTP, then just type localhost 8000. That's it, 8000. And there we go. Let me get this out of the way. So you can see this, it grabbed all the people. We have the ID, username, name, age, and verified, and we have all of this as well. As you can see, the records from the database table. And obviously you can see it's oops, there we go, so it's there. And to prove to you that this actually is the view file, if I go to the view here, I'm going to do something. I'll call this one IDX, and I'll hit save, just to prove to you that it's the same thing. And if I hit refresh, you can see it's IDX. Looks like I added another character I should not have. Let's see what I do here. That's weird, I did not add anything else. I don't know why I did that. Go back here. Oh, I added a P somewhere. Oh, here's a P. I added this extra P. There we go. Alright. So you can see that's it. So that's the view. And obviously if you want to remove something here, you can move one of the columns. It's all up to you, like the IDs. So in a future tutorial, what I would do is these IDs will be used to update or delete those particular records. So that's the coding part of the tutorial. And I do have some screenshots here on the actual article. You can look at them, you see how the stuff was installed. So you can literally just copy, and I said I already have the code snippets up here for you as well. Just expand. For example, you want to see what the index.php file is, just click expand, and then you see there's a copy. You just copy that and paste it to into your favorite code editor. And you see I have all the screenshots here. If some people want to visualize it, if you make a mistake, you can see the line numbers and everything here as well. And you can see this is actually output as we have here. I just zoomed out here so people on a vertical screen can see it. And as you can tell, this is a live stream. There you go, you can tell it's a live stream. Let's finish this up. So if you want to learn more, I have a book called Learning PHP. It's available on Amazon. Search for Eduardo Jumbo. The link is also in the description. I also have an online course available on jumboshop.com. It's also called Learning PHP, and the link is also in the description. And last year I had a lot of PHP tutorials, and I actually used the course for the beginner part of the tutorial, the beginner part of PHP. So you can follow those on the YouTube channel. I think I don't know if I was able to put it in other channels like Odyssey, Rambo, and BitChute. You can check. If not, just let me know. I can maybe make some new ones, or I can transfer some, not transfer, but paste those ones as well. And if you need more help, I also offer one-on-one programming tutorials, including Aura PHP migration and upgrade services. You can contact me multiple ways. You can go to jumbo.com/contact. You can leave a comment, or you can simply wherever you're seeing this, either the live stream or the short version, or just leave a comment there and I'll get back to you there as well. Or you can DM me if it's on some other type of social media. Okay, so summary is Aura PHP is a great way to write clean and modular PHP code using the MVC pattern. Whether you're building a small app or learning how PHP frameworks work, this tutorial gives you a great starting point. Feel free to leave questions in the comments or contact me directly for help. Alright, before I close this off, quick reminder, I do a live stream every day. It's usually about 2 p.m. Eastern. And you're free to ask any questions regarding programming, obviously, and lifestyle topics. And also be sure to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments for more frequent content. I'm going to check the live chat to see if there's any requests. I don't see any, so I'm going to end this live stream, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Today, or most likely tomorrow and Thursday, definitely, I'll do an update on the system build upgrade for my workstation. So usually it's around 8 p.m. or 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see you guys there as well. With that said, have a great day and see you